Hi everybody and welcome to Photomikes Garage. All right. We have a continuous problem with the Jeep. Okay, if you remember in my last video, I replaced the coolant temperature sensor. I'll put a link to that video down below. That was because I had a code P0128, which could either be the coolant temperature sensor or the thermostat. And I, with my logic, decided that it must be the coolant temperature sensor. My logic was flawed. Can you see that? Engine light is still on. What the heck? Okay, as you can see, the P0128 code is still there. So therefore, I'm going to replace the thermostat today. And if this doesn't fix it, I'm going to jump off a cliff. Okay, this is going to be a quick video because anybody with a brain can do this job. The thermostat is right under this plastic thermostat hose housing right there. Two 10mm bolts and it should come right off. So we just have to get access to that by taking off the intake. Okay, first we'll loosen off our 10mm bolts here. We've got two of them on the top of the intake tube. And we'll just take off these clamps. Alright, we'll just loosen these clamps. Okay, that end's loose. This end's loose, but don't forget, you've got a little electrical connector right here. Squeeze and pull off. Now you got this free. Now, as you can see, we got access now to our area. I'm going to remove this switch as well, just to get it out of the way. So that is what we're going to replace, the entire housing, this plastic housing. Now this is plastic and they have been known to leak, and I think that there's a little, just the tiniest little leak here. It seems to be wet right there, and then inside there is the thermostat. So there's two 10mm bolts, one there, plus of course we have to unclamp the rad hose. Now when we do that, there will be a loss of coolant, so it's good to have a bucket underneath the vehicle. Now these bolts aren't going to be on too tight, so I'm just going to break them loose. Break loose. Oh. Yeah, that broke that one loose, and then the bottom one. Yeah, it's loose. Now I got these handy dandy hose clamp pliers. What these do is that they will take off your clamp, but they'll hold it open, making it easier to maneuver and get off the car. Yeah, you can see that they're holding the clamp actually open, allowing me to maneuver it down the hose. Just like that. Obviously you're going to lose some coolant here, so it's a good idea to buy the correct Mopar coolant. I've got the hose off and it's sort of just wedged in here. Try not to lose too much coolant. Now we can take off the bolts here. Now we can take off the entire housing, plastic housing here. It's loose, and there we go. There we go. And there is the old thermostat, probably the original thermostat for this vehicle. One more thing, of course, this is very important. Often the old gasket stays on the engine block, as you can see. The old gasket's still there. This has got to be taken off because you've got a new one now. So you got to take this guy out. It might be an idea to just sort of wipe these surfaces to make sure they're nice and smooth. Make sure there's no crud on here, so I might do that. It also might have been a good idea to wear gloves because coolant is not really good for your skin. It is a poison after all. And of course it wouldn't be a Photomikes Garage repair unless there was blood involved. Alright, that's nice and clean. Okay, it's a good idea to compare your old thermostat housing and thermostat with what you're going to replace it with. This is from Dorman, so I advise you to get a high quality piece. And it comes with the thermostat already installed. It comes with a gasket already in place. And it looks virtually the same. Okay, everything is ready to go, so we'll put this right back in where the old one was. Get them started by hand first. Okay, once I got them finger tight, we're going to tighten them down. Now, of course, these don't have to be too tight. The actual torque value is, I have no idea. Okay, so now that that's on, it's time to put our hose back on. Oh, I'm losing fluid. I'm losing fluid. There we go. I got you. Now we take our handy dandy hose clamps and we just move our clamp back up. Okay, we're almost done. Hose is on and the clamp is on in the correct position. So now we just have to top up the radiator and try to make sure there's no air bubbles in the system, and then we should be ready to go. We'll put our throttle body connector back on, just like so. Okay, we're gonna try and make sure there's no air in the system. One way to do that is to open the bleeder valve. There's a little plastic valve that's right on top of your thermostat housing. You just loosen that off. Now it's a little bit hard to reach underneath here, but you just loosen that off. And then you put in your antifreeze and you fill this up, and then you're gonna wait until you start seeing fluid coming out of here, and then you're gonna close that valve. That will get rid of almost all the air that's in the system. Okay, you can see you got some water, some liquid coming out there. That means that almost all the air is out. We can now close this and that, and then continue to fill it up. Okay, now we put the air intake tube back on. Don't forget to plug in your little connector right here. There we go, it's plugged in. And we put this back on right there and right here. Just snug these up. And we just got to tighten down these clamps. Okay, the job's basically done. We have our intake hose back on. All we have to do now is start the Jeep, make sure there's no leaks, and also top up the rad as necessary. Okay, so that is how you replace your thermostat in your Jeep Wrangler 2014 JK. So I'm hoping I never see that code P0128 ever again. So thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time.